Hi guys, welcome. I've got Vaideesh, is that the right way to say it?
Yes, yeah.
Got Vaideesh here with me today, who is affectionately known as Joey. And we're going to start off by getting Joey to relax a little bit here. No, just kidding. It's all good. Joey, so we discussed prior to getting on here on film about where you wanted to start in this conversation. And we're going to start with you as a young lad in India.
Yes, yeah.
And I was wondering if you could fill me in a little bit about...
So my dad was a press photographer, and he used to take racing photos back in Bangalore. So he fell sick, so I had to carry his bag going to the race course just to help him out.
And how old were you when you were doing that?
I was probably like 6 or 7, and just to look after his cameras and everything when he's taking photos and stuff. And eventually I fell into love with the horses there, and you know, the smell and the sound. I fell in love, and one day I asked my dad if I could get on a horse. So he asked one of the guys to put me on a horse, take me for a little walk, and I just fell in love. So I thought, okay, this is it, this is me, this is what I'm gonna do from now on.
Right.
So yeah.
That's amazing. So it was all through your dad's racing photography that you got exposed to horse racing?
Yes, yeah.
And obviously the love of it.
Yeah, I loved it, yeah.
Okay, so Joey, you started riding through, was it a riding program in India at the time, or?
So I started very young, maybe 9 or 12. I just started getting into riding horses and stuff with, you know, Dad used to take me around. But, you know, it got really tough at that time for my dad. You know, I couldn't afford to pay the riding fees for me.
Of course,
so, you know, I used to just go sit around and watch people ride every day. And, you know, eventually one of the masters, he called me and he said, oh, you want to sit on a horse? So he put me on a horse and I started walking around, and slowly I started to trot, and then he said, oh, you've naturally got the talent, so why don't you do it? And then he went and spoke to my dad, and my dad said, okay, I'll put him on. And my dad told me to go and learn riding. And that's how, you know, slowly got an opportunity to ride race horses that time. And I was very good, and as soon as the first year I finished with my race horses, I got into my apprenticeship, and I got my jockey's license, and it was my second ride, and I won straight away.
That's amazing.
And I was only probably 16 at that time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And how long were you in the program before you rode your first, like before you actually became a professional jockey? How long were you in that training program?
Probably say 2 years.
2 years.
2 or 3 years as a, you know, trackwork rider riding race horses.
Right.
It was very hard for me because, you know, I was young and I was weak. I was not very strong, and I didn't know horses much. So I straight away got into riding race horses. And yeah, it was only my second ride, and I won. And you know, there were so many people cheering for me.
Yeah, I bet.
It's the best.
You were like the underdog, right?
Yeah.
You know, the young kid that
they never
came from
expected
nothing.
me to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And who was your first winner for? Like,
it was Spark of Sapphire, a horse. One of the trainers owned it, Prasanna Kumar.
Okay.
Yeah, he put me on his horse to give me my first chance. Yeah.
And I know that I have a couple of family members that are still left in India, and you've ridden a couple of winners for them.
Yeah, Mr. Neil Darasha and Zari Darasha, they helped me a lot. And actually, Neil Darasha, he helped me get my championship in Mysore. Yeah, I was really fighting hard. It was a head-to-head battle with me and one other apprentice jockey. And it was very hard for me to get one win. It was my last day, and I had only one ride to prove it, and it was for Neil.
It was his.
Yeah, and Neil was giving me all the confidence, you know, you can do it, Vaideesh, you know, go and do it.
Yeah.
And I finally won it, and you know, after that, emotions got me.
Oh, that's amazing to win the championship. And Mysore's a great track. Mysore is a really, really lovely
track. It's a very beautiful track.
For people that have not been to India, some of the horse racing there is quite beautiful. They've got some really nice tracks there, and especially the smaller ones. But okay, so that was a great way to start your racing career.
Yeah.
And then tell me a little bit about how things progressed from there. And because I know you won the championship, and then you continued to ride, and then you were coming up in the ranks.
Yeah.
What happened that sort of spiraled things for you?
So, you know, I was doing very well, and I was very young. I was 16, 17, winning championship, winning races, and you know, a lot of people that didn't like me. You know, I was young. I was competing against the best jockeys in India, and they kind of didn't like me. And you know, seeing an underdog going and winning races like that, it was so they actually, I had a lot of people come and say, you know, you need to go overseas and ride. You know, people over here won't give you much opportunities. You know, they would, you know, they're trying to stop you from doing this. And I actually didn't believe them because I don't come from a family background
Right.
that's in racing. It was hard for me for people to guide me where to go. So I just believed in myself, and I thought, okay, you know, I'm winning races. I was confident at the time, you know, and I was young. So I just decided to just stay there and keep riding. And eventually, one day I just walked into the races inside the jockey's room, and one of the jockeys had got hurt. So I got the chance to ride that horse. So, and then the horse ran third, and they said, oh, you pulled the horse.
Oh.
And it was a very shock for me. You know, I was only young, I was only 17. And when they said that, I was a bit shocked, and I didn't know what to say. And I finished my ride, and later on they called me up and said, oh, they're thinking that you pulled the horse. But the only thing was, I only got the ride like 10 minutes before I got on it. Like, I hardly spoke to two people, and I was
Right.
surprised that when they said that.
So how would you even know that that was something you were supposed to do
that
when
was
you didn't
supposed
even talk to
happen.
anybody?
Yeah,
Right.
and I didn't even know the horse or anybody. So when that happened, that switched me down a little bit, and I went through a bad patch after that. Yeah, you know, when I was
Were you
suspended.
suspended? Oh,
I
you
was
were
suspended for 1 year for that.
1 year.
Yeah, and it was hard for me to forget about horses.
It's something that you're passionate
Yeah,
about, right?
yeah.
It's like it's your livelihood.
Yeah.
It's your life. They were
And-
essentially taking away your life.
Yeah,
That's how you felt.
and I was very young when they gave that to me. It was too harsh on me, and you know, I tried to forget horse racing for a little bit, but it got to me, and eventually, you know, I got into that bad friend circle.
This was back in where were you, in Bangalore?
In
at the time?
Bangalore,
In
in
Bangalore.
Bangalore, yeah.
Okay. So you were predominantly riding in Bangalore.
In Bangalore, yes,
Okay.
yes. And I got into that bad friend circle where, you know, I started doing silly things, trying to forget about horses and racing. You know, starting to drink and smoke and stuff.
Things that you never did before.
I never did before.
Right. So yeah,
That's how I got
completely
it. Yeah.
self-sabotaging.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like so, Joey, after your rough period,
Yeah.
let's just say your self-sabotage period, how did you pick yourself back up, and how did you move on to the next stage of your life?
So when I was going through that period, my mom told me, you know, you need to go prove these people wrong because you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And 3 days later, I got my visa to go to New Zealand. And I thought, okay, maybe this, you know, failure is probably the stepping stone to success. So
Absolutely.
I took it, and I went to New Zealand. It was very hard for me to leave my family.
So this was after the year. This was after the year.
During the suspension.
So you could ride somewhere else?
No. I was
Okay.
still going through my suspension at that time.
Okay, so you applied during your suspension.
Yes,
To
just
New
just for the
Zealand.
visa, just to go be a trackwork rider there.
Okay, so you didn't go there with the intention to ride and race?
No.
Okay,
No.
I was just trying to get an understanding of that. Okay.
And you know, I had to support my family and pay the rent and the bills and that. It was very hard for my dad to do it himself. So
Right.
I got my visa. I went to New Zealand, and trainer Fraser O'Reilly, he helped me to get back my license there. But we had to wait for the suspension time to finish.
Right.
So after the suspension time finished, straight away I got my license in the first week, and he put me on a horse, a Wow Water Princess, and I think it was my third ride, and I went and I won.
That's amazing. That is incredible.
Yeah.
What a story. That's so amazing. And then how did it sort of move on from there?
And I rode her again, and I won it again on her. And it was
Back-to-back.
2 back-to-back wins.
That's amazing.
And it was going really well, but then I decided, you know, I need to go up north a little bit, you know, get people to know me more, because I used to work in a private property,
Okay.
so not many people were seeing me there. So I end up north, but it got very hard for me there because they said I can't claim anymore. They took my claim away.
Oh, why did they do that?
Because I had lost my apprenticeship already in India.
Oh, I see.
I
Okay,
had
so you
finished
came
it.
as a full-fledged.
Fully fledged jockey.
Right. Okay.
But they still gave me a claim. But then when they took it away, it was very hard for me to compete against the top jockeys in New Zealand, you know.
Right.
Opie Barsom, and, you know, they're the
Of
best
course,
jockeys.
yeah.
And it was very hard for me. So I decided, just ride everyday track work. I used to charge $20 a ride. I used to ride like 15, 20 horses a day.
Wow.
And just to make that amount, I used to go collect the money and keep it under my bed.
So $20 a ride?
$20 a ride, yeah. I used to keep it under my bed,
Seriously.
just to pay my sister's university and the house rent.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you have two sisters?
I've got a sister and a brother.
Sister and a brother?
Yeah.
And how old are they now?
My brother is 34. He's married.
Wow.
He's got a kid. Yeah.
That's amazing.
My sister is 31, 32, I think. Yeah.
And they both still live in India?
Sister lives in India. My brother is in London at the moment. He got heavy, so he couldn't ride in the races. He loves the food too much, so.
Yeah. So he was also a jockey.
He was also a jockey. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're the youngest?
I'm the last one. Yeah.
The baby
The
of
baby,
the
the
family.
family.
Okay, so let's go back to New Zealand, and obviously you were saving to help your family and all that stuff, which is it's admirable, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that struggle. What happened once you went back to track riding?
Yeah.
And how did you end up from New Zealand to Hong Kong?
So as I was making, those $20 with each horse, one of the trainers over there who brings ISG horses here, Mr. Bruce Harvey, he saw me in the morning track when he said, "Oh, you ride really good, so you got that style, and do you want to join me for a Hong Kong trip, selling horses and riding breeze up in Hong Kong?"
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, this is the best
This is
opportunity,
nice.
and
Yeah.
especially Hong Kong is
Yeah.
the best place,
Yeah.
It was like a dream come true for me. I said, okay, I'll do it.
Amazing.
And then he brought me here. We did the sales, and then I asked him, I found out about the people working here, expat riders, and I asked him if I could get a job here. And I like the place as well. Hong Kong is beautiful, and I asked him, just asked him if I could end up being track riding here. And when they said, yeah, I can, so Bruce Harvey said, okay, you just, I'll get you a job here, and he got me the job. And
Really?
I ended up staying in Hong Kong.
That's amazing. And when
Yeah.
did this happen?
This was 4 or 5 years back.
4 or 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
who did you start with?
I used to ride for Mr. Benno Young and Mr. David Hall first.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just been 2 years now I've been riding for Mr. Casper Fownes.
That's
now.
amazing. And how has that been? How's that
Oh,
experience?
he's just the best boss.
So you've been with Boss for 2 years.
Yeah.
You've ridden some pretty sweet horses of his.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you about being a jockey again. Is that something that you would like to get back to doing?
Yeah, I still got that fire inside me. I'm still
Right.
29.
Right.
And I keep myself light all
Very
the time.
fit.
I'm always in the gym, working out, just keeping myself fit and
Right.
just waiting for the opportunity to come. And I've asked over the years, I've asked so many people for giving me a chance, but eventually I don't get it.
Right.
Not many people.
Have you spoken to the club? Have you said to the club, like, hey, I'd like to ride
I think over the years I've lost that confidence going and talking to people saying, and he'd give me a chance.
chance, right?
But it would be great if somebody could just come and say, I'll give you a
Let's
chance.
give you a license for a year
Yeah.
or whatever, and
It-
try and prove yourself.
Yeah.
What would your riding weight be? What do you?
I'm
ride?
at 114 pounds now.
That's a good
Yeah.
good riding weight.
Yeah, I'm
That's
very
really
light
good.
and I don't put on weight at all.
And what do you do to keep fit? Like, what is your workout regime?
I've joined boxing. I go to a gym in Fort Han. It's called Exceed Muay Thai, and I got a lot of friends there. The Hong Kong people, they support me a lot. The coach and his wife, they're the best people.
That's amazing. And would you, if you had an opportunity to ride outside of Hong Kong as a jockey, would you take it? Like, is that something that you'd be interested in pursuing?
I'm 29. If I go out and I have to start it all over again to build up my name, it would be another 2 years wasted
Right.
over there. But for now, I love working for Mr. Casper Fownes.
That's amazing.
I'm learning a lot from him, and
Yeah,
the
he's-
way
he's-
he looks after me is just
That's
it's
amazing.
just the best thing,
That's amazing. Well, that's what it's like. I mean, it's almost like having family, really. It's like a
Yeah.
second family,
It's-
right?
yeah,
Because
it's-
you all become this team. And once you have that team, because I think, a lot of people's successes, especially in horse racing,
Yeah.
it's your team that
Yeah.
that you really need a good solid foundation. You really need a good team
That-
in order
that-
to
that
be
is
super
true, yes.
successful. That's really what I believed all
Yeah.
along. But, well, you've had quite the journey to get here,
Yeah,
Joey.
it was
So,
hard, but I'm here now.
yeah, you're here now, and you've got a lot of amazing opportunities, and you're very well liked and respected, and your family would be very proud of who you are today.
Thank you so
and
much.
I-
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I thank you for coming, and for sharing some of your life with us.
Yeah.
I know it's been a difficult journey for you, and but you're on the other side of that now.
Yeah.
Seems like your family's happy and healthy.
They're happy now, yeah.
And that's what's important. So hopefully they'll come and visit you here sometime.
Thank you so much. Yeah, they do. They will, yeah.
Oh, that'll be nice. Well, it's nice talking to you.
Thank you so
Take
much,
care.
friend.
Okay, Joey.
Thank you so much.
Bye.